నెట్ బంద్ చేయండి కింద.
This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to Dr. TSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a big and warm welcome to another wonderful guest. The guest who really matters in this piquant situation of the created pandemic, the psychic pandemic, the pharmacy insurance pandemic, the politico administrator media nexus pandemic, whatever the people have given us so many big names. I can't read all of them, only some. He is none other than Dr. Aravind Kushwaha. He is an additional professor, community medicine, All India Institute of Medical Sciences from Nagpur. Welcome, sir. Welcome to this wonderful host of guests. You people,
Thank you, sir.
all wonderful guests like you, Dr. Amitabh Banerjee, Dr. Satish Ranjan, whole lot of others. You made this channel, these live shows, a memorable and in larger public interest. And when people are suffering, that is the time you all made it their day by giving out proper information, simple, logical, evidence based, which is totally science, only science. Welcome to the special show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Before I hand it over to you, yes, as usually, the spirited masala again, because now they are trying to hit. Now they have shown that a small girl, a small boy, has contracted the Omicron. Oh my God! We have been telling how to sell vaccines. Third wave got frittered away by the community transmission, natural immunity of the Indians. India is different, mind you. Like that, even the world would have been different, but for the reasons best known to the citizens of the world, they succumbed. Now they're all coming back. The world is witnessing spate of outrageous protests wherein their fundamental right to life, right to health is being suppressed, sabotaged, and health issue has become a law and order issue. That is where Indians have risen above that, and they said, we will not like anything, take anything lying low without proper information, because we ourselves are a constitutional authority. It's a republic. It's not a banana republic. We are a republic. Every individual citizen is a constitutional authority himself. His taxes run the central and state governments. What they should do? It should be in larger public interest. Their duty is to inform each and every citizen of the consequences, whether it is treatment or prevention. You have seen how Indian Council of Medical Research to Indian Medical Association, whoever so, union to state governments, they have been taking the dictates of WHO, World Health Organization, and how WHO has kept on changing its dictates, whether it's treatment from remdesivir to blah blah blah. Lakhs of rupees spent by people lost their lives, and all of a sudden they take it away. Even the Tamil Nadu government were distributing remdesivir. What is this happening? What happened to the people who preach and practice science? The doctors? What about the medical ethics? Do no harm. What is happening? That is the reason why Dr. TSPR channel has been in the forefront. Likewise, prevention. Under trial vaccines, safety, efficacy, immunogenicity, peer review, blah blah blah, whatnot. Still, an emergency situation is trying to be created to pump public funds for vaccine manufacturers. When the vaccine doesn't have any liability or compensation, nor it has gone through the normal vaccine trial modes when it becomes candidate vaccine. So that is why doubts have been arising whether only placebo is being given to all the politicians, administrators, and people who matter, and innocent citizens of the world are being put under vaccine trials, which doesn't have any liability and compensation after 2 years, close to 2 years. How is that these vaccines are still under trial, still under emergency use authorization? That beats my intelligence. Why there is no liability and compensation? Why the governments are propagating this for a disease which is 99.99% recovery it has without any treatment? If we are wrong, kindly correct. Different age groups, it does not go beyond 97.6. And our Dr. Arvind ji will throw much light on such all aspects today. Don't go away as usual. That is why when India is suffering with tuberculosis, malaria, dengue, viral encephalitis, vectors, flies and mosquitoes tormenting you, how is that these diseases, in spite of treatment, in spite of vaccine, they are killer diseases, but they don't get mentioned anywhere except corona. That is the beauty. And WHO, out of scare, started to point out tuberculosis went undetected in 42%. What happened? Those 42%, because it is killing youngsters along with vulnerable adults. 42% undetected. How many tuberculosis cases? Why union and state governments, Indian Council of Medical Research and Indian Medical Association doesn't speak? And recently, that is not enough, they have come out with malaria figures. They said more than 40% went undetected because our concentration is only on corona. Why corona? You have seen who has entered Forbes list in 1 year's time. That is the reason why. Let me just give you a sample of what I have shown you last time. And I have to include media sound, then share. Now she is the lady. ओमिक्रॉन खोजने वाली वैज्ञानिक ने कहा, ब्रिटेन बिना वजह सबको डरा रहा. Believe me, the doctor on your screen, on the guest of the today, he is in close touch with Dr. Angelique Kofji. Daily he speaks to her. Both come from the same background. I feel community medicine. If I am wrong, Dr. Arvindji will correct me. But they are talking to each other. This is the biggest aspect of this show. I am bringing one wonderful guest who is in constant touch with Dr. Angelique from South Africa, from where the origin has happened. Now I have seen some disturbing things. They said the origin is not from South Africa because everything is coming out. So people don't get worried. That is why we have got a wonderful doctor, Dr. Arvind Kushwahu. He will be explaining to you as he speaks to her to gain vital and daily wise information which will expose all this natakbazi just to sell vaccines. Now they have got children into this thing. Children, we have challenged the government. Come for discussion in Indian Council of Medical Research. Do children have thymus glands or not? Does the lungs tissue has those ACE receptors which will try to bind the spike proteins? Come on, yaar. Whom are you trying to? And are children or were children not part of the so-called first and second waves? Don't you think they would have got natural immunity, herd immunity by this time? Proved with Delhi, everywhere, Hyderabad, serological studies. Then whom are you trying? That is why I am requesting parents, dariye mat, don't get frightened. At the same time, yes, we need to take precautions. Having understood what corona is, whether it is lab virus, that also we have come out with pakka evidences. How National Institute of Health, US, in tow with Wuhan lab, what were they doing? Why these agencies could not go ahead? That also we have brought it out. Then itself we told there is another strain, it is going to come. It has come. So my request to, humble request to parents, don't get psyched. Don't create fear psychosis in your family. You ask those people, right from politician to administrator, why it is so dangerous. Why not tuberculosis? Why not malaria? When you start questioning, and don't you think these thymus glands and they don't have ACE receptors, and don't you think they are part of the family, have gained herd immunity, and you tell them the vaccinated world, Israel to America, America to Europe, and Europe to India also, don't you think those vaccinated are now the carriers? Challenge them, question them. Omicron, only vaccinated are allowed to fly. No, don't you think these vaccinated citizens are the only source of spreading this infection. If you are wrong, World Health Organization, CDC, FDA, Indian Council of Medical Research, Indian Medical Association, come out, let us debate. This is science. This is logic. This is evidence. That means the vaccines were failure or not. Now you have to debate. Then how the hell you again go on imposing booster dose, this dose, that dose, when the first dose doesn't work? How will the other doses will work? Are they not going to interfere with your natural immunity? Because of community transmission, you have seen people are going out, enjoying their lives. All of a sudden, you are trying to create a fear psychosis. This fear psychosis, now you have created, now you are answerable, because Omicron is being spread by those vaccinated. They are the only ones who are allowed to fly in between the countries. Now, what will WHO, ICMR, Indian Union and state governments will say, including Indian Medical Association? So these are certain things which I am just trying to show you, and we'll straight away get into the discussion. And this is in crisis in Slovenia. Whistleblower nurse says politicians receive saline instead of mRNA jab. That is why everyone has got doubt. Everyone was asking why there are no after effects in all. Because is this because of placebo or saline being injected into politicians and those VVIPs? That is the reason why all political parties in India, you watch, everyone proposes vaccine. If that is the state, remove it from emergency use authorization. Allow us to go and take voluntarily. Let there be liability and compensation. If it is really doing very good, we will welcome it. Then why the hell these politicians, those who are famous celebrities, are promoting this? This is really beats our, including Indian Medical Association. We have nothing against anyone. We thought Indian Medical Association will become Indian, totally Indian, and take care of the needs of the people. And you correct us. Let us discuss, debate, and then let us decide scientifically. But why are you creating fear psychosis for a disease which has got 99.9% cure, recovery without any treatment? Again, in a video, this Facebook, why did they delete it? If there is no, this evidence doesn't speak truth, why are you scared? That is what has been happening. And oh, sorry, he has also warned. Unfortunately, we lost him, and our heart goes with him. And the last one, the crisis in Slovenia. Can you imagine going to a doctor's appointment in 2019 and saying, can I get a test please? I am having problems with an illness with no symptoms. See how people are trying, and this is the one with this COVID-19 public manipulation model. You see, now new variant Omicron, then surging cases, artificial scare is created, then lockdowns and further restrictions, then vaccination or other booster, then slight reopen, then this vicious cycle is continuing. That is the reason why we want every citizen of this country and world to be well informed, truly informed, so that they can take a decision whether they want this vaccine or that vaccine, whether they want these mandates, masks. You know how the masks have been creating problems. And then the physical distance norms, are they only for common men, common people? Politicians have shown you various photographs, even recently also, Honorable Prime Minister meeting Mr. Vladimir Putin. Were they wearing any masks? All of a sudden they come onto the TV and they start wearing masks. When they were visiting, when they were traveling, all politicians, not just BJP, everyone. Then why are you scaring people? Is it good? Let us speak science. Let us speak logic. Let us speak evidences. So I'll revert back to our guest. I will make him the presenter so that he can move ahead. Yes, Dr. G, I hope the stage is set for you. Unmute yourself, sir.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir, wonderful. Yes, sir. Full screen now. Please go ahead.
All right. Andrews. So, dear friends, good evening. And today we're going to talk about the most talked about thing today, and that is Omicron variant, uh, which has recently been discovered in South Africa to begin with, but within a very short span of time, as of today, 60 countries across all WHO regions have reported Omicron. So that means that it is present now virtually across the world, in every nook and corner. Now comes the question whether this Omicron variant, which has been declared as a variant of concern by the WHO, is there something that we need to be scared of, we need to be afraid of, or do we really need to do a fact check and actually then only derive our conclusions? So today we'll just talk about a little bit about the virus that has been recently discovered, and then we'll talk about what actually holds for us in the future. And it is too early yet for anybody to guess as to how this virus is going to behave. But at the same time, there are more reasons to believe that there is very little to worry as of now. Before the Omicron came onto the scene, that is about 26th of November, if I stand correct, when the WHO declared that a new variant of concern has been detected. We must look back as to what was happening before this Omicron hit the scene. We saw the world was slowly limping back to normalcy across the globe. The cases were coming down everywhere. The markets were opening. Economies were picking up. And one important thing that was seen was the vaccination, which started off with a lot of zeal and a lot of enthusiasm, was slowing down across all the nations. And most regions and countries in the world were sustaining a very low and decreasing new cases and deaths incidence, except some parts of the Europe. So in general, it was looking like a good, I would say, picture of hope. And most of the world was opening up for travel. People had started moving out after 2 years of, you can say, imprisonment, virtual imprisonment, because of the lockdowns and the restrictions on travel. And then one morning, a new variant is reported, and world is put on very high risk alert by the WHO. And what is the result? We are back to square one after 2 years, even with large scale vaccination being equipped. I mean, what I'm trying to say is India almost has already done 130 crore vaccinations. That's a massive, massive figure. But at the same time, the fear factor, the uncertainty, the you can say the scare in the people has come back. Where are we? If after so much of vaccination, the fear factor and the uncertainty remain the same, then there's something we have to really think about. This is the picture just for academic sake. These are the two variants which have caused the maximum, you can say, scare in the world. One was the Delta, which was responsible for the second wave in India. We are all aware about it. And it rose very sharply and also came down very sharply. And it's as per the current incidence of the new cases, it is a endemic infection now in India. And this is a mutated version of this virus SARS-CoV-2, and this has been labeled as Omicron. Now this Omicron has got more mutations in the spike protein. Spike protein is that protein which is there on the outer cover of this virus or the capsule of this virus, and when it penetrates a human cell, this is through this spike protein that they enter. So in this, they have found plenty of mutations. About more than 30 to 50 mutations have been found, much more than any other variant so far. And based on this, the WHO, without any data, concluded that it is likely to be more transmissible, it is likely to cause more severe disease, it is likely to do a immune escape. That means it will also be, causing infection even if the person is vaccinated. Prior vaccination has happened, even then this Omicron will lead to infection. So these three conclusions that were drawn by WHO were basically drawn without any data, just as a thought process that since mutations are more, so this has to happen. While it is not the case, and moreover, we cannot put the world back on scale based on our assumptions or based on our whatever you can say predictions. So ultimately, it was more of a prediction and an assumption rather than a hard fact or data to back those things up. So that is very important to understand. The data is slowly building up, and even today, if you go to the site of the WHO or any other agency, you will find that most of the things are still unclear. That means transmissibility is also shown to be more, but still not very well established as to what is the axis transmissibility. The fatality or the severity, definitely so far there is no evidence. In fact, on the contrary, the evidence is that the cases are mild, much more mild than the previous strains. And about immune escape, it is too early to really comment on anything. So to say it all, the data to support those three hypotheses is still not available. And despite that, we have put the entire world back on red alert. Just to show you how, the world goes back into the fear mode or panic mode. These are news items. This is from Al Jazeera. A variant of concern, says WHO. It is very important to understand that each word matters. When you say to the public at large, each word matters what you say. The WHO has classified Omicron as a variant of concern because it has a wide range of mutations. This suggests vaccines and treatment could be less effective. Could be. Not yet. Although it's too early. Omicron appears to be able to reinfect, appears to be able. There's no data. More easily than other strains. WHO said that it may take weeks to understand the new variant. If it takes weeks to understand the new variant, why have we raised the alarm so early? Independent press, again, positive news for a change. You can see that the South African Medical Association of this SAMA says Omicron variant causes mild disease. And I was mentioning, I got in touch with the doctor who had been talking about this in South Africa, that is Angelique Corsi, who has been, you can say, the one who has raised the issue of access cases, and that is how the Omicron was deciphered and you can say declared or discovered. And she has so far said that the entire things are moving in much positive direction as far as the new variant is concerned. Excess number of infections are occurring, but all of them are mild, and the current ICU occupancy rate is less than 6%, while during the previous waves with the same number, the ICUs were full. so you can understand the connection. Same, kind of article which gives us little hope that the symptoms are unusual but mild. This was one. This has been locally referred as Hotel Omicron. It's a Hotel Ramada, where the travelers which came from the endemic countries were put up, and there were the people moved out from hotels to their homes at that times, despite quarantine and all. There was a lot of scare created because of that. And back home in India, we obviously taking the clue from the WHO's alert, we had to obviously react to that. And there was a meeting which was called at the central level. And of course, they discussed in those informs how we need to go about on the Omicron things. And we are almost doing same things that we did possibly during the early part of this pandemic, that is in 2020 March, April onwards. That we are back to the same process of entry screening, then putting them in institutional quarantine, and then doing genome sequencing. But very ironically, I just want to bring out on the same day as we had been having a meeting at the center, India was recording its lowest one-day score in almost 2 years with just less than 7,000 cases on that day. This is very, very ironical, one must understand. But anyway, positive news was that Health Minister says India has no case of Omicron. Obviously, since we have not discovered it, so you'll always say no case of Omicron. But if you do testing and genome sequencing, probably you find that it is already existing in India, possibly, even before it was imported. We do not know. So this cannot be really established that we do not have any case of Omicron. And suddenly today the number is growing every day. Now, what happened as a result of this declaration of variant of concern, Omicron? First thing happened is all countries, other than the African countries, they shut their doors on South Africa, and in response to this, and panic of resurgence of cases, panic of disaster looming again, and of course, as if the only way out for the world was vaccine, and this will save you, as we already pointed out, that all those people who were traveling along all along from these countries where this was discovered to other countries, they all were vaccinated, of course, saying that vaccines are not helping to curb the transmission by any means, or curb the infection also. And therefore, there was a very, very urgent kind of feeling that we may again have lockdowns, shutdowns across the world, including India. Now, today, as the things stand, only thing certain about this strain as of today, as WHO is still uncertain. I mean, there's nothing much we know about it as of today. The data that is evolving, whatever from Africa and other countries, is on the positive side. That it's in fact a very mild infection, much milder than what we have already seen. Now the world, as well as country like India, you have almost 80% serum positivity. That means people have been either exposed to infection or they have been vaccinated, or a combined herd immunity, as we can call it. I just want to bring some things to light for the people, that it is not only Omicron which has been happening across the world, but of course, most of the world knows that only thing that is probably we have been talking, we have been listening, we have been seeing is COVID, and nothing else. But the world has been watching and seeing something else which these people have not come to know. And this slide, the coming slides will tell you that there are a lot of things which are happening, but possibly people are not aware. And those things are equally of concern for all of us. For example, a case of monkeypox in United States of America has been found in November 2020 when this Omicron was under process of discovery. The same time a monkeypox has been. So I don't want to go into the history of the implications of this monkeypox developing into a variant where it becomes adaptable to human beings and again becomes an epidemic that we don't want to forecast, neither we can say. But what I'm trying to say is this is happening across the world, but nobody knows about it. Nipah virus disease outbreak in India, we all know, has happened in the month of September 2021, and it's got a much higher case fatality ratio, and it has been declared as the emerging zoonotic disease of public health importance, Southeast Asia and Western Pacific regions. And this is the fifth outbreak in India. This is again a matter of concern for us. But hardly any media has played out this disease story in probably maybe once or twice maybe, but otherwise it has been generally hidden from public eye. A plague occurring in Madagascar. We all remember the Surat outbreak of plague, and we remember occurrence of just few cases of plague in India. The entire world shut all the doors on India because of that plague. So similarly, this plague again has got very high fatality rates. I've seen few cases of this, which is it's a very rapid development of disease in Liberia. Yellow fever outbreak in Venezuela, Zika virus disease in India happened in July itself. There's so many things happening across the world. The meningitis outbreak in Congo, MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is a cousin of this SARS-CoV-2, a cousin, or you can say the senior cousin of the SARS-CoV-2, which has been regularly reporting cases in Saudi Arabia. So this is again, but otherwise, regarding this, WHO does not advise special screening at point of entry with regard to this event, nor does it currently recommend the application of any travel or trade restrictions. Why? Why this is only being talked about is the COVID and nothing else. There's so many things happening across the world. Now coming to this new enemy, Omicron, as has been spelled out by the leading world health agencies as well as world you can say associations of state governments or the national governments. This has been declared as an enemy which we have to fear. But why I have put this particular word frenemy? This enemy may turn out to be a friend, we never know. So we do not know whether it is really enemy or really not. So that's why I've used the word frenemy. We are yet to really decipher whether this Omicron is an enemy or really maybe a savior in the end. So this variant Omicron belongs to Pango lineage, and I don't want to go into the details, but just basically 30 amino acid changes. These are the mutations that have happened. And what is important here to understand is the current RT-PCR machines and the tests that we are doing is able to detect that. But only the rider is a particular type of test test which uses S gene. Those tests can only detect that. So many of the laboratories may be using it, may not be using it also at the same time. So any S gene target failure is taken as an indicator of Omicron. Genomic sequencing has been I'm sorry for the delay. Genomic sequencing is the one which will tell you whether finally this is the Omicron or not. But there are some criteria that must be followed in case we really want to do a good sampling and we want to do a good, you can say, surveillance of this new virus. So then these are the guidelines, and if we follow this, which includes international travelers, severely ill patient, vaccine breakthroughs, unexpected disease presentation or change presentation, and maybe sudden spikes in new cases in a particular place. These are the criteria based on which we can think of doing the genome sequencing to find out whether we are dealing with Omicron or not. going ahead, this is the technical brief for Southeast Asia, which has been prepared by the WHO. So it says that presently there is no evidence. This is a little older slide, so that's why it is written here that no evidence or information. But that has already happened, and India has already reported number of cases. I think it is in 20s and 30s. It has already been reported. So now we are into that stage where it has already been introduced. So what they've said is about the WHO saying is given its immune escape potential and possible transmissibility and advantage compared to Delta, the uh, the likelihood of potential, this has already happened. So this is all what was probably said by WHO before it became a reality. So slides are a little old. That's why. So priority action they said was that we must detect this particular thing early in any new country, and therefore the rapid rise in new infections must be viewed with lot of suspicion, and we must always look for those things. And presently, as I have already mentioned to you, 60 countries across all 6 regions of WHO have reported the Omicron. This is the slide on 28th November. Today is 12th December. So they have classified the global risk assessment based on whatever information they had at that point of time, that there is substantial uncertainty. Again, I am highlighting that there is still uncertainty regarding all the 3 characteristics of the new virus, that is transmissibility, though it is becoming clear that it is more transmissible. The second thing is immune escape potential. This is not yet very well established. Clinical presentation is slowly becoming clearer that it is much milder. Severity of disease is not there. So these are things which are just getting clear with time. And this is something which the WHO said that consequences may be severe. What they said was assume that this particular Omicron, because of mutations, will be escaping the immune mechanisms of most people. That means we will have the large outbreaks and large, you can say, COVID waves again. And based on that assumption, the number of, even if the case fatality rate is lower, even then the number of deaths may increase tremendously, and it may pose overwhelming demand on the healthcare system. That was the assumption which had been made. And impact on vulnerable population would be substantial, especially like countries in Africa where the vaccine coverage is not that very high. And therefore they said the overall risk is very, very high. Now, priority actions that the WHO suggested was enhanced surveillance. We all know that कि हमको जैसे हम लोग यहाँ पे भी जीनोमिक सर्विलेंस कर रहे हैं, जहाँ जहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवलर्स आ रहे हैं उनका आरटीपीसीआर करते हैं, आरटीपीसीआर पॉजिटिव आ जाता है तो हम उसको जीनोमिक सर्विलेंस के लिए या जीनोमिक सीक्वेंसिंग के लिए भेज देते हैं। अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम्स, अगर आपके किसी भी सिटी में, टाउन में या किसी स्टेट के अंदर रैपिड राइज होता है केसेस का, तो ऐसी जगह पे becomes your early warning sign for possibly a Omicron outbreak, and that can give you a clue where we can do a genome sequencing. Event-based surveillance, unusual epidemic signals. For example, we have seen some outbreaks happening in medical colleges of Karnataka, in some other district also, some other states also. We had suddenly 40, 60 cases occurred in some institutions. So these are the places where we can look for maybe a new variant which is being reported. And WHO expects that the countries will report cases in clusters to them, and field investigations will be carried out. Now, in this entire game of Omicron so far, there have been some silver linings, which I have just enumerated earlier as well. But again, to reiterate, as I've already told, I've been following this outbreak in South Africa since the beginning, and I've been talking to the people out there, and talking to the epidemiologists, talking to the doctors, and trying to follow, whatever is happening there. a virus behavior will be similar in most of the countries. Of course, in India, even the Delta strain has not really behaved in the same manner as has happened in other parts of the country. India has been luckier on that respect, and we have probably had much better results even in Delta also. So we expect that if the variant which in South Africa remains mild, more transmissible, less virulent, then of course it is a very good news for us. And as far as there is a law of evolution or law of selection, as they say, that as the virus is under pressure, it tends to evolve in a manner that it survives more. It survives more only when it does not kill its host, that is human beings. And therefore, if a virus has become more mutated to survive, that means it is likely to be less virulent also. So keeping that thing in mind, I assume that this Omicron will definitely be, if it is more transmissible, is bound to be less virulent. And this law may hold true here. And we as a country have a natural infection as well as a large number have been vaccinated also. So almost 80% and beyond in most parts of the country are now having a kind of hybrid immunity, and therefore most of them will be already protected against any kind of severe disease, even if it is caused by any mutant or new virus or the new variant of the virus. What I foresee is that this particular variant will outdo the other variants that have already been circulating in most parts of the world, as is happening in Africa. Slowly the Omicron is replacing the Delta and the other Alpha and Beta variants and establishing itself as the predominant strain or the variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and this will ultimately establish itself possibly as the most likely endemic strain, which will outdo all its earlier siblings. What do we do for India? What we should do? I would say that we should exercise caution before we really create panic or before we create fear psychosis in parts of our population, because what we have seen in the wave 2 of India, it was the fear which drove that pandemic. What I'm saying is the fear led to overwhelming response. People who did not require hospitalization, they lined up in front of the hospital. And people who may need hospitalization may not get it back. That is what created the whole chaos and the entire anarchy kind of situation where it was a sudden rise of cases, and then everybody thought that if they had RT-PCR positive, that means they should be in the hospital. While it is not so, 80-90% people will recover at home without much problem. So therefore, we need that we are alert to see the incidence of ILI, that is influenza-like illness, generally rises in the December to March season. It is known as the flu season. So certain amount of rise will be seen in December to March. What we have to see that this rise is not disproportionate, and this disproportionate rise or whatever proportionate rise is also there. This is not blamed on to the Omicron unless it is true. That is what we need to be little cautious about, and we need a lot of work on the media reporting on any issue related to COVID. I am really quite worried about this. The way the entire media goes on repeating the same thing and instilling fear into the population. That is something which really needs to be tackled. And Dr. Lady is the right person to probably work in that direction. We need to establish and enhance our lab services. We all know that we should be cautious. I am saying cautious before we put containment, quarantine, isolation, lockdown. Draconian measures don't work. This has already been well established by various studies. not more than 5 to 6% of decline in any number of cases anywhere are attributed to these draconian measures. They put more trouble for us. They put more, inconvenience to the masses rather than serving any purpose. So we should think 10 times before we think of big draconian measures like lockdown. Containment, yes. If there is a very small demarcated area, we can do containment in a very, very micro containment, what we say, that should be practiced. And if at all we want to practice quarantine for international travelers who are suspected to be Omicron positives, those must be institutional quarantine. If you send them home as is being practiced, then we are allowing the Omicron to escape, and this has already happened possibly, and that's why we are getting all the new cases being detected with Omicron in different parts of India. We have a huge experience in the last 2 years dealing with this pandemic, and a lot of capacity building has happened, and therefore there is nothing really to worry with the current variant that we have, and we can always utilize our experience, our resources. The oxygenated bed capacity has really tremendously increased. I don't see any problem as far as this variant is concerned dealing with the cases. Again, I want to reiterate, draconian measures don't work. Please don't resort to them as much as possible. We must focus on health system strengthening. My most important advice would be that susceptible population or population which is at risk for complication, not only because of Omicron variant, but any other variant, any other virus also. These are the population which are likely to have severe disease, like elderly people, comorbid people, infirm people, maybe with immunocompromised people. These are the people that we need to really look after. So vaccinate them where whatever vaccines they require. I would not only suggest COVID vaccination for them, but I will also suggest flu vaccination for them. There is also a flu season. You never know, a person will be having flu, but nobody is diagnosing that flu, which is treatable as well as preventable. But because COVID, everybody is only talking about this poor chap may die with the treatable and the preventable influenza, which is going to go undiagnosed. And another thing that I want to highlight is wastage of precious resources on things that yield little gain. I think this is one of the most important things that the government must start thinking. Now, since last 5 months or 4 to 5 months, 5 months at least, a small town like Nagpur has been recording literally less than 20 cases per day. At times even 3 cases, at times 0 cases, at times 5 cases, 7, 8 cases, and we are virtually doing more than 3 to 4,000 or at times more than that, 5,000 tests every day. What are we gaining? Last 5 months we are getting less than 20 cases. Why are we trying to unnecessarily measure this? What is the purpose? This should give us an idea that the disease has disappeared. Not disappeared in the sense you don't get a zero when it disappears. That means the disease has become endemic. You will never get a zero coronavirus stage in any part of the world from now on. Never aim for that, because this virus will stay with us forever now. So it is going to be there. If it is going to be there, should not test unnecessarily. Test people who require it. Treat people who deserve it. And that's it. And most importantly, I think which this particular pandemic has happened is there are only one kind of voices that think, okay, this is to be done, so everybody goes in that direction. There are some people who say differently, who want to put across a different point of view. These dissenting voices must find a place in mainstream, and that is going to be, I think, a great probably contributor in this entire pandemic. Uh, so for us, I think the way out is multi-pronged approach. media must be told how, made responsible. They are the best people to really regulate themselves. They should know how it is going to help, what I am going to play out, except TRP should not be the only criteria. We should take the public along. I always believe that for any effective pandemic control or epidemic control, if you don't take public along, if you don't take community along, you will never succeed. And possibly this is where we have failed miserably as entire country as well as the world has not taken the community along, not taken the public along. And medical community, I would definitely appeal to them that they should pass the right information to the public rather than something which is not certain, which is not verified, or which is just based upon assumptions that we should try and avoid. Of course, the legal and the other business communities, they also, there are already processes on regarding this, that we should tackle this you can say unnecessary fear, unnecessary panic should be avoided. This doesn't serve anybody's purpose. It really actually counters the whole process of pandemic control. This is something which I am probably putting up only as my personal belief and personal opinion and personal prediction. I hope it turns out to be true, and this we can talk about maybe after 4 months or 6 months. I'm risking being an astrologer, though I'm a medical person, but still I'm doing it, not because it's just a thought that has come to my mind, but most likely based on the epidemiological methods and principles, and that's what I'm trying to probably tell. Newer strain will continue to spread despite all draconian measures, if at all they are put in place, as has happened with other strains. This is already proven. So there are very little you can really do by draconian measures. It doesn't really serve much. We should focus mainly on susceptible population and protect them by vaccination. Let the world get back on its feet, and we must start caring for the poorest of poor. We are all very, very well-off people sitting here talking on these issues, but poorest of poor, who earns his bread daily, nobody thinks about him. If he doesn't go to work, on that day his family doesn't eat. And this we must keep in mind before taking such drastic measures to lockdown, Section 144 and all this. And finally, I don't know, I might be proved right in the times to come. I hope I'm proved right. Omicron may turn out to be the natural savior for mankind. And so that's why I use the term frenemy. It may be a friend in the guise of an enemy, which the world is trying to show. With that, I would like to close my talk.
Wonderful, Dr. Kushwaha. Kudos to you. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Just a few words in Hindi, because there were just sum it up, just 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll definitely do that.
Yeah. You can select the good screen which you want to place, and then put that and then speak so that they can understand.
Yeah, I want to close this share part.
Whichever screen you think, you can put that slide and then explain. Whichever slide you think, or else you can come out of that and explain, no problem.
No, I will do it. Of course, there's no need for the slide.
Yes, please.
Okay. तो ये जो ओमाइक्रोन नया वेरिएंट आया है, तो इससे जो हमें डराया गया है WHO द्वारा और एजेंसीज के द्वारा, पहले तो मैं आपको ये बता दूं कि इसके बारे में अभी तक पुख्ता जानकारी या सॉलिड जानकारी अभी तक इमर्ज नहीं हुई है, धीरे धीरे हो रही है। और जो धीरे धीरे जानकारी निकल के आ रही है, स्पेशली साउथ अफ्रीका से, वो बहुत ही पॉजिटिव न्यूज की तरफ है। यानी कि बजाय डरने के हमें काफी हद तक राहत की खबरें मिल रही हैं वहां से। और ये राहत की खबरें ये हैं कि ये जो वायरस है, नया वेरिएंट जो है, ये बहुत ही माइल्ड डिजीज करता है और इससे ज्यादा खतरा सीवियर डिजीज का नहीं हो रहा। और दूसरी जो अच्छी चीज है, जो हमारे खासकर हमारे देश के लिए, हमारे हिंदुस्तान के लिए, हमारी जो हिंदुस्तान की पॉपुलेशन है वो काफी हद तक दूसरे वायरसेस से या इम्यूनिटी के द्वारा 80 से 90% तक एक्सपोज हो चुकी है और उनके अंदर इम्यूनिटी डेवलप हो चुकी है। अब कई लोग बोलते हैं एंटीबॉडीज खत्म हो जाते हैं। एंटीबॉडीज ही सिर्फ माध्यम नहीं होता है इम्यूनिटी डेवलप होने का, हमारे पास टी सेल भी होता है जो कि मेमोरी सेल्स होता है। उसे याद रहता है कि मेरे को वायरस ने पहले कभी इन्फेक्ट किया है, तो वो फटाफट एंटीबॉडीज बना लेता है। तो इससे मुझे ये लगता है कि मेरे ख्याल से हिंदुस्तान को इससे बहुत ज्यादा डरने की या खतरे की घंटी की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। और खासकर जो हमारा पॉपुलेशन का जो प्रोफाइल है, यंगर पॉपुलेशन है ज्यादा हमारे पास इम्यून पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा है। तो जो ये जो ओमाइक्रॉन वेरिएंट है, अगर मान लीजिए किसी भी हालत से हमारे यहाँ जो ऑलरेडी आ चुका है, अगर फैलता भी है तो बहुत इससे नुकसान मैं नहीं देख रहा और बहुत कोई बड़ी इससे वेव नहीं आने वाली है, ऐसा मेरा मानना है। और जो थोड़ा बहुत राइज अगर होगा भी अगले 2-3 महीने के अंदर, वो एक नेचुरल राइज भी होता है। ये आपको सबको समझने की जरूरत है, कहीं ऐसा ना हो ये जो नेचुरल राइज है हमारे सर पे माथे फेंक दिया जाए कि अभी देखिए ओमाइक्रॉन के कारण हो रहा है तो आप डर जाइए और आप जो है फिर से बंद हो जाएंगे। तो ये जो फ्लू सीजन है इसमें एक एक्सपेक्टेड राइज होता है, तो इससे घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है। आपको कोई भी तकलीफ होती है, अपने नजदीक का जो अस्पताल है डॉक्टर के पास जाइए और अगर कोई भी जरूरत होगी ट्रीटमेंट की, वो आपको ट्रीटमेंट देंगे। ट्रीटमेंट अब काफी हद तक रिफाइन हो चुका है और बहुत हद तक जो केस फैटेलिटी रेट है, जो शुरुआत में आपने देखे होंगे वहां से शुरू हुआ था 20% फैटेलिटी रेट था, वो घट करके अब कितना आ गया, 0.05% आ गया। तो ये एक आम रेस्पिरेटरी वायरस बन चुका है। खासकर ओमाइक्रॉन जो वेरिएंट है, भले ही उसमें म्यूटेशन बहुत ज्यादा है, पर मुझे लगता नहीं है कि उसकी कोई लिथैलिटी या विरुलेंस बहुत ज्यादा है या उसको मारने की क्षमता उसके अंदर बड़ी नहीं है, बल्कि उल्टा कम हुई है, ये मेरा मानना है। इसलिए मेरे ख्याल से ज्यादा घबराने की किसी भी तरह की जरूरत नहीं है। और जो लोग वैक्सीनेटेड है, खासकर जो ससेप्टेबल पॉपुलेशन है, अगर वो वैक्सीनेटेड है बहुत अच्छा है, अगर नहीं है तो वैक्सीनेटेड हो जाए। बाकी जो यंग पॉपुलेशन है, मेरे ख्याल से उनको ज्यादा मेरे ख्याल से इसमें डरने की बिल्कुल भी जरूरत नहीं है, वो अपने आप ही रिकवर हो जाते हैं, उनको क्लिनिकल सिम्टम्स भी नहीं आएंगे। तो ये मेरा अभी मानना है।
एज ए कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन स्पेशलिस्ट, जब समाज में इसकी जो भी है स्प्रेड कह सकते हैं आप, व्याप्ति जो समाज में हो रही है, इस दौरान क्या कोई टीका लगाने की सोच भी सकता है? और वो ऐसे टीका जो मामूली तौर पर जो टीका बनने के प्रयास में जो कुछ भी हम बोलते हैं ना, सेफ्टी हो, एफिकेसी हो, इम्यूनोजेनिसिटी, पीर रिव्यू, और साथ में इमरजेंसी यूज़ ऑथराइजेशन के एक स्टैंप लगा के हमारे पैसे हमारे से इन मैन्युफैक्चरर को दिया जा रहा है और उसमें कोई लायबिलिटी नहीं है, कोई कंपनसेशन नहीं है। इस चीज़ को कैसे देखते हैं आप एक कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन स्पेशलिस्ट के तौर पर?
मेरा मानना ये है कि खासकर ऐसी डिजीज जो कि जैसे कि हम अभी देख रहे हैं कोविड में, जिसका कि फर्टिलिटी रेट बहुत ही कम है और दूसरी बीमारियों के मुकाबले, जिनको हमने अभी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया, आपने भी मेंशन किया, मैंने भी स्लाइड में दिखाया है, तो इसमें मास वैक्सीनेशन जैसी चीज मैं जस्टिफाई नहीं कर सकता। मैं ये जरूर मानता हूँ कि उस पॉपुलेशन को हमें जरूर बचाना चाहिए, वैक्सीनेट करना चाहिए जिसको कि खतरा ज्यादा है कॉम्प्लिकेशंस होने का। जैसे कि जो 60 साल से ऊपर लोग हैं, जिसको कि डायबिटीज, हाइपरटेंशन जैसी बीमारियां हैं, जिसको हार्ट डिजीज है, जिसको इम्यून कॉम्प्रोमाइज है, जो कैंसर का मरीज है, जिसको कि कोई और ऐसी बीमारियां जिसके कारण उसका जो न्यूट्रिशनल स्टेटस है वो पुअर हो गया है, ऐसे लोगों को हमें प्रोटेक्ट करने की जरूरत है वैक्सीन से। और ऐसी वैक्सीन जो कि एक्चुअली हमने जो अभी हमने देखी है, जो हमारे पास आई है, तो वो वैक्सीन का आपको पता है कि प्रोटेक्टिव एफिकेसी जहाँ तक प्रिवेंट करने की है वो बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है, बट ये है कि कम से कम सीवियर डिजीज तो प्रिवेंट होती है, और खासकर जो ससेप्टेबल पॉपुलेशन में है उनको हमें वैक्सीनेट करने की डेफिनेटली जरूरत है। और जो कह लीजिए ज्यादातर वैक्सीनेट हो चुके हैं, फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स, हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स ऑलरेडी वैक्सीनेट हो चुके हैं, तो उनको और ज्यादा वैक्सीन की बूस्टर लेना है या कुछ और लेना, मुझे नहीं लगता है कि उसकी कोई अभी रिक्वायरमेंट है, स्पेशली जो करंट स्थिति है हमारे हिंदुस्तान की, जिसमें कि पॉपुलेशन को ज्यादातर लोगों को एक हाइब्रिड इम्यूनिटी जो कि नेचुरल इन्फेक्शन और वैक्सीन के द्वारा मिल चुकी है, और यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा किसी भी तरह का खतरा जो है इस बीमारी के दोबारा से और उठने का नजर नहीं आता। तो मास वैक्सीनेशन डेफिनेटली नॉट, I don't recommend at all, and I've already written on that. There is a paper on that, and it should be, you know, directed towards target population, जिसे हमें बचाना है, जिसको खतरा है। हर एक को खतरा नहीं है। और दूसरी चीज है कि बच्चों को वैक्सीन अभी मैं बिल्कुल भी रिकमेंड नहीं करता, क्योंकि बच्चों का जो भी डेटा हमारे पास अभी तक अवेलेबल है फर्स्ट और सेकंड फेज का, दे वर अफेक्टेड इक्वली एज अडल्ट्स। जितने एडल्ट्स अफेक्ट हुए हैं उसी नंबर में, उसी प्रोपोर्शन में वो भी अफेक्ट हुए थे। और जो डेटा अभी तक है हमारे पास, उसमें ये कहता है कि बच्चों में इस बीमारी का बहुत ज्यादा असर नहीं हुआ है, उसमें फैटेलिटीज बहुत ही रेयर है, और देयरफॉर उनको मैं नहीं रिकमेंड करता कि कोई वैक्सीन अभी लेना चाहिए, खासकर जिसका ट्रायल्स बहुत रिगरस नहीं हुए हो, जिसके हमारे पास बहुत एक्सपीरियंसेस ना हो। जो वैक्सीन पहले 7-8 साल लगता था इंट्रोड्यूस होने के अंदर, आज वो 6 महीने 7 महीने के अंदर इंट्रोड्यूस हो गई हैं। ये थोड़ा सा मेरे ख्याल से सोचना चाहिए, जब हम पूरे इतने बड़े लार्ज पैमाने पर इतनी बड़ी पॉपुलेशन को ये वैक्सीन लगा रहे हैं, और खासकर जब हमारे पास बहुत अच्छा मैकेनिज्म एडवर्स इवेंट फॉलोइंग इम्यूनाइजेशन का, यानी जो इसके साइड इफेक्ट्स होते हैं, उसका बहुत अच्छा सिस्टम भी नहीं बना है। आपने ऑलरेडी मेंशन किया कंपेंसेशन का कोई प्रावधान नहीं है इसके अंदर, वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा इशू है। तो मेरे ख्याल से वैक्सीनेशन को हमें बहुत इफेक्टिवली अच्छे स्ट्रेटेजिक तरीके से इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए, rather देन कि जैसे एक मच्छर को मारने के लिए आप गोली नहीं चलाएं। आपको मच्छर मारने के लिए गोली चलाने का जरूरत नहीं है, आपको सिर्फ एक मॉस्किटो नेट का जरूरत है, सिंपल सा। या आपको एक छोटा सा मॉर्टिन का टैबलेट जलाने से भी वो मच्छर खत्म हो सकता है, आपको गोली की जरूरत नहीं है। तो ये जो मास वैक्सीनेशन है, इस तरह का एक तरह का जैसे आप गोली से मारना चाहते हैं छोटे बच्चों, तो ये समझने की जरूरत।
और आप एक कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन स्पेशलिस्ट भी है। जब सहज रोग निरोधक शक्ति, जो हार्ड इम्यूनिटी, कम्युनिटी ट्रांसमिशन जो वायरस का हो रहा है, इस दौरान आप ऐसे वैक्सीन जो नष्ट परिहार के उसमें भी नहीं है, ना कोई उसका डाटा सही तरीके से नहीं है, और जब ओमिक्रॉन देश विदेशों में इस तरह फैल रहा है, और देश विदेशों में जो वैक्सीनेट किया गया उन्हीं लोगों को फ्लाई करने की मौका दिया जाता, तो इस दौरान आप कैसे देखते हैं ये टीकाकरण?
सर, वो मैं जैसे आपको बोला है कि टीकाकरण का जो बेसिस था वो ग्लोबली ऑलमोस्ट एक ही तरह से चला था कि सबसे पहला जो ग्रुप है वो आप हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स को ले लीजिए, फिर फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स को ले लीजिए, फिर आप सीनियर सिटीजन्स और जो एल्डरली पॉपुलेशन है, कोमॉर्बिड पॉपुलेशन है, उसको ले लीजिए। वो एक अच्छी बात ये रही कि इस दौरान किसी ने पीडियाट्रिक पॉपुलेशन को इसमें छूट नहीं किया या उनको आखिरी में रखा गया, और ये बहुत अच्छा हुआ। अदरवाइज बहुत दिक्कत हो सकती थी, और ये जो पूरा कोविड पैंडेमिक जो कि सेकंड वेव अपने आप ही खत्म हो गया पिछले 4-5 महीने से, आप देख रहे हैं एंडेमिक ऑलमोस्ट इन्फेक्शन बन चुका है। मेरे हिसाब से ये एंडेमिक इन्फेक्शन बन चुका है, इसमें कोई मुझे शक नहीं है। तो अगर ऐसे टाइम में हमने बच्चों को लगा दिया होता गलती से, और कोई हमारे बहुत एडवर्स इवेंट हो जाते तो बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण होता। और ये एक अच्छा डिसीजन रहा गवर्नमेंट का कि भी उन्होंने बच्चों को इतना जल्दी नहीं किया वैक्सीन को अप्रूव करने का, और होपफुली आगे भी नहीं होगा, ये मेरा मानना है। और आगे फिर हम देखते हैं कैसे।
जब बच्चे ही नहीं, सब बुजुर्ग लोग हो, हम ये कहते हैं कि डिसईज, जब आपका आराम खो जाता है तभी हम बोलते हैं आप रोगग्रस्त है। लेकिन जो निवारण हो या चिकित्सा, ये रोगग्रस्त से ज़्यादा भयंकर हो, इज़राइल में स्टडीज़ ने देखी है, अमेरिका में बाहर आए, इंडिया में भी आप पतानमतिट्टा, केरला, हर जगह इम्यूनो एस्केप हुआ है। इसके बावजूद नष्टपरिहार नहीं है या सही एक प्राविधान नहीं है, तो इसको आप मानते हैं कि हमारी भारत सरकार और राष्ट्र सरकार और ये पब्लिक मनी प्रजा की पैसे से इस तरह की टीकाकरण को आगे ले जाएं, और ऐसे ऐसे रोग है ये 99.9% बिना कुछ अपने आप ठग जाती है।
जैसे मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया कि मास वैक्सीनेशन का जरूरत है ही नहीं। मैं पहले से ही इस चीज के विरोध में रहा हूँ कि मास वैक्सीनेशन की कोई रिक्वायरमेंट है ही नहीं, क्योंकि इसमें एपिडेमियोलॉजिकली ये डिजीज डिजर्व ही नहीं करती। फ्रैंकली स्पीक, सबसे बड़ी बात ये है। मास वैक्सीनेशन स्मॉल पॉक्स में होता मान लेता मैं, मेनिंजाइटिस में होता मैं मान लेता, अगर एक जो पहला वाला सार्स आया था उसमें केस फैटेलिटी रेट 30-40% था, उसमें मान लेता। लेकिन प्रेजेंट डिजीज या प्रेजेंट पैंडेमिक के अंदर मास वैक्सीनेशन को कोई रैशनल मुझे नजर नहीं आता। क्या आप चाह रहे हैं कि इस मास वैक्सीनेशन से इरेडिकेट करना चाहते हैं इस वायरस को? वो नहीं हो पा। आपको वैक्सीनेशन के बाद भी इन्फेक्शन हो रहा है, यानी ये ना तो इन्फेक्शन को रोक रहा है ना ही ट्रांसमिशन को रोक। तो ये मास वैक्सीनेशन का अब आधार रह नहीं जाता। आज की तारीख में जब आप देख रहे हैं कि अगर ये 2 वैक्सीन लेने के बाद भी वो इन्फेक्ट हो रहा है, तो आप उसको कंटिन्यू क्यों करना चाहते हैं? इससे क्या और फायदा क्या मिलने वाला, मुझे नहीं समझ में।
और ऐसे भी हम रख सकते हैं क्या, टीकाकरण क्यों है, निवारण के लिए है या रोग को क्षति को कम करना, ये कई नई साइंस बताई जा रही है। आप एक एपिडेमियोलॉजिस्ट है, टीकाकरण का मतलब क्या है, वैक्सीनेशन का मतलब क्या है?
एक्चुअली जो वैक्सीन जिसे हम समझते हैं, वैक्सीन का मतलब होता है कि बीमारी होने से पहले आपको एक वैक्सीन दी जाए जिससे बीमारी ना हो। ये ट्रेडिशनल क्लासिकल मीनिंग है वैक्सीन। ये पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि एक बीमारी के अंदर हम वैक्सीन दे रहे हैं, पर हम ये नहीं कह रहे कि हम उसको रोकना चाहते हैं। हम ये कह रहे हैं कि तुमको बीमार कम होने देंगे। अरे भाई, कितने लोग सीवियर डिजीज में जा रहे हैं, पहले तो ये समझ लीजिए, कितने लोग जा रहे हैं सीवियर डिजीज, तो हर एक को क्यों दे रहे हो? तो ये डजंट स्टैंड टू लॉजिक कि हम सीवियर डिजीज को कम करने के लिए वैक्सीन का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, तो यानी वैक्सीन नहीं रहेगी। ये एक तरह का ड्रग हो। ड्रग सा फर्क है ड्रग और वैक्सीन में। तो ये यहाँ पे जो इस्तेमाल हो रहा है इस पैंडेमिक के अंदर, वो एक मोर लाइक ए ड्रग, कि हम आपको पहले दे देंगे वैक्सीन, तो अगर मान लो आपको इन्फेक्शन हो भी गया तो माइल्ड रहेगा, सीवियर नहीं होगा। अरे हो सकता है वो अपने आप ही माइल्ड रहता, कैसे डिसाइफर करेंगे?
तो बूस्टर
वायरस है ही नहीं
और एक बूस्टर तो एक ड्रग बन गया। टीका जो है निवारण के बजाय चिकित्सापूर्ण एक दवा बन गया। तो अगर निवारण का टीका चिकित्सा का एक ड्रग, एक औषध अगर बन जाता, तो वो कैसे परिणाम हमारे नागरिक पे होगा?
बिल्कुल सही बात। ये जो टीका है जिसका कि ज्यादातर हमारे हिंदुस्तान में ऑलरेडी काफी हद तक जो एलिजिबल पॉपुलेशन है, उनको फर्स्ट टीका तो काफी लोगों को मिल चुका है। मेरे ख्याल से कवरेज ऑलमोस्ट 60% के आसपास पहुंच चुका है, शायद उससे ज्यादा पहुंच चुका है। और जो दोनों डोजेज हैं उसका भी परसेंटेज 37 से ऊपर पहुंच गया है एलिजिबल पॉपुलेशन। और इसके अलावा नेचुरल इन्फेक्शन से भी हमको ऑलमोस्ट 60-70% से ज्यादा इम्यूनिटी मिल चुकी है। तो जो डिक्लाइन भी आया है हमारे पैंडेमिक के केसेस में, वो वैक्सीनेशन से पहले चालू हो गया था डिक्लाइन। आपको समझने की जरूरत है कि जो डिक्लाइन है हमारे केसेस का, वो वैक्सीन के इंट्रोडक्शन से पहले ही, मास पॉपुलेशन में आने से पहले ही डिक्लाइन शुरू हो चुका है जनवरी। लेकिन चूंकि आपने वैक्सीनेशन चालू कर दिया तो क्रेडिट आप उसको दे सकते हैं, लेकिन एक्चुअली वो देखा जाए तो इट इज नॉट attributable. This fall in pandemic is not because of vaccine. It has been to certain extent may have contributed. I'm not saying it has not contributed at all, but major part of decline has happened because of the natural infection sweeping the most parts of India in the second wave and acquiring natural immunity, and that's why the second wave went like this and came down. it went up very sharply and came down sharply as well. This is how the pandemics or the epidemic peaks behave. If they grow gradually, they will last longer and they will continue to linger on for a long time. That is how we try to so-called flatten the curve by lockdown and other measures. You can prolong the agony, but you cannot reduce the number of infections. That will definitely be the same.
Which is superior, natural immunity या vaccine immunity?
Sir, this has been established beyond all doubts that natural immunity in SARS-CoV-2 has been proved to be far, far superior to the vaccine immunity. Those who got infected have not reported much of reinfections, while people who have been vaccinated have reported a substantial number of reinfections. So there is no doubt that natural immunity is any day superior to the vaccine immunity in SARS.
तो आपकी वेडनेसडे 8 दिसंबर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, क्योंकि पूरा मीडिया नहीं दिखाता, ये डराता है, उनकी खुद वेबसाइट आप देखिए, प्रेस इन्फॉर्मेशन ब्यूरो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया पहली वैक्सीन की बात करते हैं, लेकिन एक सरकार होने के बाद में इस तरह की बात नहीं करनी चाहिए। फिर भी ऐसे डिसऑर्डर, इंडियाज एक्टिव केस लोड करेंटली स्टैंड्स एट सो एंड सो लोएस्ट इन 555 डेज। काइंडली अंडरस्टैंड, हमारी ये नहीं है, ये देखिए ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट है गवर्नमेंट की, वहाँ से हमने निकाली है। कोविड-19 अपडेट, इंडियाज एक्टिव केस लोड करेंटली स्टैंड्स एट 93,733, लोएस्ट इन 555 डेज, ऑलमोस्ट क्लोज टू मोर देन 1.5 years। ये कैसा दिखती है साहब? ये तो ऑफिशियल डॉक्यूमेंट है, मैं तो नहीं बता रहा हूँ। इसके बावजूद मीडिया डराती है और हर एक सरकार, डायरेक्टर ऑफ हेल्थ डराता है, मिनिस्टर्स आजकल विद्याशाखा मिनिस्टर्स आप जाके वैक्सीन लो, बच्चों को डरा रहे। क्या उनको उनके पीएस या उनके सेक्रेटरी को ये पता नहीं नेशनल वाइड में क्या पता क्या हो रहा? कैसे देखते हैं साहब ये?
This particular data that you just read out is actually there on this website, and we all know it. That is and this is on expected lines.
I think there is some disturbance with your voice, audio.
The pandemic in India, as we see it, is dying essentially to death, and it's already, to my mind, is already in India. I expect that actually continue to stay. This virus is not going out anywhere. You may try whatsoever. You may do any number of vaccinations. This virus is not going out anywhere. More you vaccinate, the more you will push the virus to develop in your skin. So we are going to be in a merry-go-round. New strain, new vaccine, new strain. So it will be an unending kind of a conundrum we are going to land up in. So let the disease take its natural course, which is already taken, and India is already hitting an endemic stage of COVID.
Wonderful. More vaccination, more rate of infection. This infection will not go away. It is going to stay with us. ये वायरस हमें छोड़ के नहीं जाएगी। जितना टीकाकरण कवर करोगे उतना ज़्यादा बढ़ेगी, नहीं जाएगा। और हम यही समझना चाहिए कि इसके साथ हम जीवन बितानी है, ये हमारी दोस्त बनेगी। जिस तरह की काफ़ी सारे बैक्टीरिया वायरसेस हमारे पेट में हैं, अगर ये
the virus has learned to live with us.
Yes.
Sorry. I just wanted to say that the virus has learned to live with us, but we have not learned to live with the virus.
Wonderful. Big statement from Dr. Arvind Kushwaha, who is a community medicine or epidemiologist from AIIMS. He says the virus has learned to live with us, but we are not learning because we are imposing vaccines, we are imposing mandates at the cost of misery and suffering of people and their lives and livelihoods. ये माननी चाहिए, क्योंकि हम डरे हुए हैं, इसीलिए हमारे ऊपर टीकाकरण ठोका जा रहा और प्रतिबंध लगाया जा रहा है। हम तैयार नहीं है, लेकिन वायरस तैयार है हमारे से जीने के लिए। वो हमारे से जीने की कोशिश कर रही है, लेकिन हम डरे हुए हैं कुछ चुने हुए लोगों के फ़ायदे के लिए। हमारा पैसे ही उन लोगों को देके टीकाकरण के नाम पे और प्रतिबंधन के नाम पे हमारे स्वस्थ हम को बैठ रहे हैं। इसीलिए हम आपको वेबसाइट में ये है, देखिए, ये अगर चेंज करते हैं सरकार तो वही जवाबदार होगा। एक्टिव केसेस अकाउंट फॉर लेस देन 1% ऑफ टोटल केसेस, करेंटली एट 0.27%, लोएस्ट सिंस मार्च 2020। ये परसों वेडनेसडे की 8वीं तारीख की गवर्नमेंट की वेबसाइट से हमने पाया सा। देखिए सब, सिंस मार्च 2020 लेस देन 1% ऑफ टोटल केसेस। ये ओमाइक्रॉन की स्केयर आने के बाद जिस तरह मीडिया में डर पैदा किया जा रहा, और हर एक राष्ट्र सरकार हो और केंद्र सरकार के लोग जिस तरह हमको डरा रहे हैं, वैक्सीन आप प्रतिबंध की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वही केंद्र सरकार की वेबसाइट क्या कह रही है आप सोचिए। वायरस लोड पिछले 555 डेज से लोएस्ट है, और एक्टिव केसेस 1% ऑफ टोटल केसेस करेंटली जो है लोएस्ट सिंस मार्च 2020। और रिकवरी रेट, अगर जिसको ये व्याधिग्रस्त हुए उनके रिकवरी रेट उन्होंने बता रहे एट 98.3%, 36%, हाईएस्ट सिंस मार्च 2020। ओमाइक्रॉन आने के बाद की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं। इस तरह फिगर्स आपके सामने रहने के बाद आप क्यों डर रहे हैं, आप क्यों प्रश्न नहीं कर रहे आप। 9,525 रिकवरीज इन लास्ट 24 आवर्स, इंक्रीज, ओके। केसेस लास्ट 24 आवर्स वेडनेसडे में इतनी कम। डेली पॉजिटिविटी रेट ये देखिए 0.01%, लेस देन 2% फॉर लास्ट 65 डेज। वीकली पॉजिटिव रेट ये भी लेस देन 1% फॉर लास्ट 24 डेज। अब मैं क्या बोलूँ आपको, सब कुछ आंकड़े आपके सामने हैं, आप क्यों डरे हुए हैं। तो यही बताना चाह रहा था मैं आप लोगों को। और साथ में ये जो कॉज पॉस्टुलेट, जो वायरस की पहचान होती है, वायरस को किस तरह पहचाना जाएगा, वायरस आने के बाद आप किस तरह उसको निवारण के रूप या चिकित्सा के रूप, ये यही मानते हैं। क्या ये लोग ये मान रहे हैं पॉस्टुलेट थियरीज? बोलिए सब, आर वी फॉलोइंग कॉस्ट पॉस्टुलेट्स?
तो ये बुक्स पोस्टुलेट जो थे वो एक्चुअली जब बनाए गए थे तो ये मेनली बनाए गए थे बैक्टीरियल पैथोजन के लिए बनाए गए थे शुरुआत में। तो बाद में इनके जो इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज है, इसके जो डिफरेंट पैथोजेंस है, चाहे उसमें वायरस है या बैक्टीरिया है, बहुत सारे जो पैथोजेंस है उस पोस्टुलेट को एक्चुअली फॉलो नहीं कर सकते। तो ये आज की तारीख में यस फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं, but the same time postulate are not the really, you can say, the sole you can say the criteria on which a pathogen can be judged. They have been there in the beginning, but right now there are more theories on disease causation which has come into being. जैसे कि एक ही वायरस मेरे के अंदर और आपके अंदर अलग अलग रिएक्शन प्रोड्यूस करेगा। आप बीमार पड़ सकते हैं, मैं बीमार पड़ सकता हूँ, आप नहीं पड़ सकते, ऐसा होता है। और
यही पर मैं यही बात आपसे मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था। वायरस आप में और मेरे में दूसरी तरीके से वो एक्ट करेगी, तो ऐसे टाइम पे वैक्सीन कैसा काम करेगा? जब इतने म्यूटेशंस होंगे, वैक्सीन किस तरह, टीकाकरण किस तरह काम करेगा? मैं यही बात आपसे मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था, आप बात कुछ कर चुके हैं। तो इस तरह की, देखिए ये भी बता रहा हूँ, ये नहीं बताया जाता। साउथ अफ्रीका में रिलीफ हुआ, कोई बात नहीं करता। और WHO की साइट में से WHO ने खुद का पहले बिना डाटा के डराया, फिर बाद में वो अपने आप सुधर गए। ये क्यों मीडिया नहीं बताती, और सरकार, केंद्र और राष्ट्र सरकार इसको क्यों ध्यान में नहीं लगाते? जब वो लोग बाहर आके बात करते हैं, नया मास्क लगाते हैं, लोगों को डराना, प्रतिबंध करना, ये गलत है या नहीं? ये सब ये बस हम, और एक यही WHO ने या बहुत बात करिए साहब, यू कीप ऑन स्पीकिंग।
I've always maintained that these measures really like social distancing and masking and even lockdowns, they really don't contribute to a large reduction in the disease transmission beyond the point. Especially if they're not well established in the community, or it has reached community transmission level. Nothing of these measures will ever work. So actually, all these measures are good when the disease is new to a community, when disease is localized, when
Right.
disease is not spread, when
Right,
the
sir.
disease is restricted to a particular locality. Then
Right.
you are right. Otherwise, once the disease is widespread, then these things don't work, and we really can't stop this virus or the bacteria.
Right. So mandates are not going to help. Mandates are going to complicate. When you have the same mask, these nostrils have been given to breathe in and breathe out. And when you have that moist mask, how fungus infection are spread, and children, they are missing their milestones. Psychologically, they are getting affected. So instead of creating a healthy
Elderly,
atmosphere, these
elderly
mandates
people, elderly
destroying.
people can collapse. I've seen elderly people collapsing because of use of mask, persistent use of mask. They have collapsed because their oxygen saturation and all starts falling. I've seen people falling unconscious because of use of mask. Elderly people.
It's a big issue. Elderly
So
people
this
or
is something.
young children, when they don't breathe oxygen, when you mask themselves for a longer time, they are falling down. क्योंकि ऑक्सीजन लेवल उनमें कम हो जाता है, हाइपोक्सिया स्टेट्स में लाइक के वो लोग अनकॉन्शियस हो जा रहे हैं. इसका जवाब कौन देगा? केंद्र सरकार देगा, राष्ट्र सरकार देगा, इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ मेडिकल रिसर्च या डायरेक्टर ऑफ मेडिकल हेल्थ हर एक राष्ट्र में, या हर एक राष्ट्र के हेल्थ मिनिस्टर? आप जवाबदार होंगे? जो डराया जा रहा आप या पुलिस व्यवस्था बिना कुछ सोचे, क्योंकि कल के दिन ये सब कुछ जो भी फ्रंट है, आपको अगर कोर्ट में कोई भी अगर केस फाइल किया तो आप जवाबदार होंगे. क्योंकि जब मास्क पहनने से उसकी ऑक्सीजन लेवल्स कम हो जाए, उससे और बीमार ज़्यादा फैले, तो क्या जवाब आप देंगे? देखिए, वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो अवर्टेड. ये देखिए, ये भी, ये मोर मलेरिया केसेस एंड डेथ्स इन 2020 लिंक टू कोविड-19 डिसरप्शंस, यही बता रहा है WHO. आप उसकी बात मान रहे हैं. इसका पहले ट्यूबरक्लोसिस बात की है 2 हफ्ते के नीचे, आज मलेरिया की बात कर रही है. मलेरिया और ट्यूबरक्लोसिस ज़्यादा तो इंडिया में ही है. सो केंद्र राष्ट्र सरकार इसके बारे में क्यों चर्चा नहीं करते? बोलिए सब, मास्क के बारे में कुछ बोल रहे थे आप.
मैं ये कह रहा था कि जो मास्क का यूज है, मान लीजिए मैं वैक्सीनेटेड हो गया, मैं रिकवर्ड हो गया, मैं इम्यून हो गया हूँ, तो पहली बात तो मैं इजीली इन्फेक्शन कैच नहीं करूँ. पहली बात, अगर मैं कैच कर भी लेता हूँ तो मैं बीमार नहीं पड़ूँ. तो ऐसे लोगों को मैंडेट करना कि आप 24 घंटे मास्क लगा कर रखो, कोई तुक नहीं बनता है. अगर मैं ऑलरेडी रिकवर्ड हूँ और अगर मैं वैक्सीनेटेड हूँ, तो ऐसे लोगों को, मतलब आप देख लीजिए कितने लोग वैक्सीनेटेड, बहुत सारे लोग वैक्सीनेटेड हैं. मान लीजिए एक गैदरिंग हो रहा है जहाँ पे सारे वैक्सीनेटेड हैं. मैं आपको एक आज का इंसिडेंट सुनाता हूँ, बड़ा मजेदार है. मैं एक प्रोग्राम अटेंड करने गया था, किसी इस्कॉन, जो इंटरनेशनल श्री कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस का एक प्रोग्राम था. तो मैं और मेरी वाइफ दोनों इकट्ठे गए थे. अब कार में इकट्ठे बैठ के जा रहे हैं, घर में इकट्ठे रहते हैं 24 घंटे. दोनों वैक्सीनेटेड हैं, या कह लीजिए एक वैक्सीनेटेड है, एक रिकवर्ड. अब हम दोनों गए उस हॉल के अंदर. हॉल में बार बार अनाउंसमेंट हो रहा है, कोविड प्रोटोकॉल के तहत ही सारा प्रोग्राम होगा, सब लोग मास्क लगा के रखेंगे प्रोग्राम के टाइम तक, सारे लोग एक सीट छोड़ के दूसरा सीट पे बैठेंगे, लगातार साथ में नहीं बैठेंगे. तो मेरे पास वॉलंटियर आया, बोला सर आप लोग साथ क्यों बैठे हुए हैं, आपको अलग अलग बैठना चाहिए. मैंने कहा मैं घर में 24 घंटे इकट्ठा रहता हूँ, मैं गाड़ी में साथ में आया हूँ, अभी मुझे आप अलग करके क्या हासिल कर लोगे. तो मेरे कहने का मतलब इट इज क्वाइट ह्यूमरस एक्चुअली द वे
नहीं, इंस्टेड ऑफ साइंस, दैट्स व्हाट, इंस्टेड ऑफ साइंस ये लोग ठेकेदार बन गए. ये आजकल इंस्टेड ऑफ साइंस,
आपने एयरपोर्ट का एग्जांपल दिया ही हुआ है. एयरपोर्ट में जब आप घुसते हैं, 2 मीटर का दायरा, 2 मीटर का दायरा, यहाँ दायरा,
अंदर जाके आजू बाजू बैठते हैं आप, अंदर आजू बाजू बैठते हैं.
और उसमें आपका अगर जरा भी मास्क नीचे आता तो एयर होस्टेस बोलेंगे सर मास्क ऊपर कीजिए. मास्क ऊपर करने के बावजूद भी वायरस उसमें से एस्केप करता है, इसमें तो कोई शक है
नहीं नहीं, और एक बात है, और एयरक्राफ्ट जो है क्लोज्ड है, वो एयर कंडीशन, ज़्यादा वेंटिलेशन होनी चाहिए. ये तो वो WHO ही बता ही रही, वेंटिलेशन ज़्यादा चाहिए. आप जब एयरक्राफ्ट क्लोज्ड है और आप मास्क थमा रहे उसके ऊपर, क्या ये नॉनसेंस. यार ऐसे लोग, एयरलाइंस के लोग, एयरपोर्ट में या ऑफिस में पुलिस की व्यवस्था, ये लोग क्यों डरा रहे? क्योंकि डॉक्टर्स जो है साइंस नहीं बता रहे, लॉजिक नहीं बात कर रहे हैं, और जो भी एविडेंसेस है उसकी पुष्टि नहीं कर रहे क्या? एक ही बात इसीलिए मैं भी बताया।
सर
बोलिए साहब, एक ही बात से हम आज
मेरे
की शो
पास
एंड करते हैं। इसीलिए हम पूछ रहे कि जब ओमाइक्रॉन के बाद में टीकाकरण का कोई मतलब है या नहीं है, और टीकाकरण का मतलब निवारण को रोकना है। जब टीकाकरण निवारण नहीं रोक रहा, उसका डेफिनेशन उन्होंने चेंज किया। वो बोलते कि व्याधि की उसकी कम करेंगे, तो टीका नहीं रहा, वो एक ड्रग बन गया। और जब ओमाइक्रॉन के स्प्रेड के बाद में जो भी वैक्सीनेटेड है उन्हीं को मौका है कि एक देश से दूसरे देश जाएं। अब ओमाइक्रॉन उनके साथ अगर जा रहा है तो ये टीकाकरण का फेल्यूर है या नहीं? और टीकाकरण का मतलब WHO से लेकर केंद्र राष्ट्र सरकार, इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ मेडिकल रिसर्च हो, CDC हो, FDA हो, काफ़ी पूरे सरकार विश्व भर इसका मतलब ही अगर चेंज किया, जब टीका जो है एक औषध ड्रग बन गया, ये भयंकर है या नहीं? तो हम इसको क्यों माने और क्यों लें?
सर ये तो वेल एस्टेब्लिश्ड हो चुका है कि वैक्सीनेशन इज नॉट स्टॉपिंग इन्फेक्शन और इवन री-इन्फेक्शन. Second thing is, once it is not stopping infection, it is not stopping transmission. So as far as community interest or national interest is concerned in control of pandemic, it has very little role. Finally, it comes down to that it saves an individual from a severe disease. Now, whom are you trying to save? Save people who deserve it. That means who are high risk for complications. आप उनको लगाइए टीका, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं, जितना मर्जी टीका लगाइए.
नहीं, वहाँ पर भी जो है
लेकिन एक-
लायबिलिटी, वहाँ पर भी जो है लायबिलिटी और कंपनसेशन रहना चाहिए, नष्ट परिहार रहना चाहिए।
रहना चाहिए, बिल्कुल रहना
आप
चाहिए.
ऐसे कैसे, और वो भी
ऐसे
पब्लिक मनी से लेके, आप
टीका-
पब्लिक मनी क्यों देते हैं उसको? इमरजेंसी यूज क्यों, इमरजेंसी यूज ऑथराइजेशन क्यों है? बोलिए सब।
If I am getting a vaccine, even to reduce the severity of disease, I should not have a adverse reaction which can be more dangerous to me than the disease itself, or the complication of which is not sure कि whether मेरे को complication होगा कि नहीं होगा, ये भी नहीं पता है, क्योंकि मैंने वैक्सीन लिया, मेरे को अगर कोई adverse event हो गया है, उसका कोई compensation नहीं है, उसकी कोई long studies trials नहीं है जो ये prove करते कि इतनी safe है. तो ये सब चीजें अभी मैंने आपको बताया कि जो आमतौर पे एक वैक्सीन का लाइफ यू कैन से साइकिल बिफोर इंट्रोडक्शन 7 to 8 years होता था, और उससे ज्यादा भी होता था. पहला वैक्सीन बनने में हो सकता है 100-150 साल लगे, दूसरा वैक्सीन बनने में 40 साल लगे, अगला वैक्सीन बनने में 10-15 साल लगे, फिर धीरे धीरे वो कम होते होते फिर भी 7-8 years तो अभी भी एस्टेब्लिश है कि उससे पहले कोई भी वैक्सीन मार्केट में नहीं लाया जाता. तो ये जब वैक्सीन लाया गया 5 या 6 महीने के अंदर, सवाल तो तब उठने लाजमी थे, आखिर क्या ऐसा और ऐसी क्या इमरजेंसी आ गई, ऐसी क्या इमरजेंसी यूज आ गया. बाय दैट टाइम it was well established the disease was not killing people as people believed it. So this vaccine introduction as a mass vaccination, especially not very well tried, without any compensation, clause into it, is I would not recommend as a mass vaccination.
And that too after Omicron spread, in spite of only vaccinated are allowed to fly. Now after this, how can they promote, how can union and state governments promote, how can a Indian Council of Medical Research and World Health Organization, US FDA, CDC, how can they, and Israel experiments are there, double vaccinated boosters, how they are suffering, many countries are suffering. How can you promote like that? And when severe diseases like tuberculosis, dengue, malaria, WHO itself says they are all ignored because of this COVID.
Sir, I hope the story of COVID pandemic doesn't stretch beyond another few months from now. That is my hope, and hopefully it will die its unnatural death. Natural death has already occurred, but it will die its unnatural death also in another few months to come. As you must have heard few news bites also that the Mr. Bill Gates has already announced that by mid of 22 or sometime in 22, early 22 or so, the pandemic will go away. So now we can be more sure about its timing. And another silver lining is that the Indian government is not buying vaccines from Poonawalla has told that he's going to cut the production to half. So I think the things are moving in that direction.
Let us hope it goes. And why this test panic? Why the hell, when I am hale and healthy, why the hell I should submit myself to test? What is the nonsense? If I have to go to temple, if I have to fly, if I have to visit temple, what is this nonsense going on? And who are these people to coerce me, force me into getting these tests? Is it not for commercial interests, whether it is tests or vaccines? For a disease which has got 99.9% recovery without any treatment, without any prevention, without any vaccine.
That point I already brought out that you are testing people. 3,000 tests you are doing, 3 people are turning positive by 3,000 people. The test cost is roughly about 3,000. 3,000 into 3,000 is how much? So 30 lakh rupees you are spending to detect 3 people who will be mild or not asymptomatic, who will recover on their own hand. What is the logic? I don't understand. And this has been done for last 5 or 6 months in every part of the country. You know the positivity rate you just brought out?
Yeah, it has gone down.
Less than 1%. Why are we persisting with the test?
Yes. Why are we persisting with the tests, investing such huge public money? Union and state governments, you have to answer. Indian Council of Medical Research, always dictated by WHO. Director of Health, what the hell you are doing? We don't understand. Kindly come to our rescue. Inform us. We don't mind. We inform us. Make us totally informed. The necessity, the severity of the disease, whether it is treatment or vaccination. And you allow us to take a decision. Why are you imposing it? You see our Honorable Prime Minister, Pope, and with Putin, they are close together. When he travels abroad, he is close to not just Honorable Prime Minister. You see all political leaders, when they are traveling, there is no mask. Our own state ministers here also. They have traveled entire Europe when Omicron was there. Our own chief minister, when speaker got affected, thankfully he recovered. But in and around people, they were not tested, but only creating psych in the schools and colleges. How can this be taken as? Because people will start questioning you. Because if science, logic, and evidences become infringement for fundamental rights, right to life, right to health, and right to proper information, if you are scaring people into submission, people have every right to know. That is why, at least now, my humble request, submission from these channels and wonderful guests, kindly give us correct information. Sensitize each and every citizen, because until and unless you take public people along, these type of viruses or diseases cannot be encountered. By turning health issue into a law and order issue, psyching, creating fear psychosis, mandate after mandate, this way you are killing the psyche of the person. Permanently you are making them to go sick. Not only that, their livelihoods are affected. At least I hope governments will take cognizance, and Director of Health and all concerned ministers also will not create panic. Instead, see that every citizen is well informed, truly informed, with science, logic, and evidences, and leave it to the citizen itself, because the right to life, right to health, his fundamental right. Thanks, sir. Hope you enjoyed participating in the show. Look forward to you again next week or.
Just one last concluding remark for the evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. The UN, United Nations, had celebrated the International Human Rights Day yesterday.
Okay.
So we can understand where are the human rights in this pandemic. I should have the right, if I have to go and get tested, I should have the right to get vaccinated or not. No, you cannot force everything on me, especially when it is not serving any purpose, especially when the situation is not warranted. I would go by all your dictates when I feel yes, you are right. There is no problem. But when I'm vaccinated, when I'm safe, when the disease is finished, you still continue to tell me, you wear mask, maintain social distance, and this drama. And then you have election rallies which are, 1,000 farmer agitation going on for 1 year. Where is the social distancing? Where are the masks? Where are the, COVID appropriate behaviors? You can't have two yardsticks for this improvement of the country. They should be implemented everywhere, or you don't.
Farmer strike is a good case study. Why there was no, in the height of last March till this November, December, they were on the roads in spite of wave after wave. Why they were not affected? That is a $1 million question. I hope entire Indians will take that as a case study. Why they were not affected? Was there any physical distancing, masks? So understand. So this fear psychosis should go. As rightly pointed out, United Nations, under the aegis of which World Health Organization functions, if United Nations has celebrated International Human Rights Day, then is it at the cost of the fundamental right of the citizen? It is nothing but becoming a mockery day and day. At least I hope sincerely all those member countries will stand up now. The governments or political parties, if you don't inform the citizen, if you don't allow citizen to exercise his fundamental rights, I leave it to your own sense. Renaissance. I will leave it to them because health matters, and I only hope we will all live in a peaceful and in a happy, purposeful atmosphere wherein there is no fear except positive information which is full of science, logic, evidences, and you are allowed to exercise your own fundamental rights. Thank you, sir. This live show will be re-telecasted on Citizens Dr. TSPR channel day after tomorrow. That means on Monday, 13th at 8 p.m. The same show will be re-telecasted on Citizens Dr. TSPR channel on Monday, 13th December at 8 p.m. Do support, subscribe and share Dr. TSPR channel, Citizen Dr. TSPR channels, Environment Dr. TSPR, Environment People and Dr. TSPR channels. Wonderful guests will come onto the show. It's all in larger public interest. We have nothing against any individual nor animosity against any parties or organizations. Issue as per rule of law, constitution invoking Evidential Act in larger public interest only. So take care, sir. Good night. And for all the Indians,
Thank you
Sukha
so much.
Nidra Shubha Ratri. I hope Dr. Arvind Kushwaha has removed fear from your minds. For all the world, the same should happen. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So take care, sir. Bye.